The music of Ethiopia is extremely diverse, with each of Ethiopia's ethnic groups being associated with unique sounds. Some forms of traditional music are strongly influenced by folk music from elsewhere in the Horn of Africa. However, Ethiopian religious music also has an ancient Christian element, traced to Yared, who lived during the reign of Gabra Maskal. In northeastern Ethiopia, in Wollo, a Muslim musical form called manzuma developed. Sung in Amharic, manzuma has spread to Hara and Jimma, where it is now sung in the Oromo language. In the Ethiopian highlands, traditional secular music is played by mostly itinerant musicians called asmaris, who are regarded with respect in Ethiopian society. Music theory. Ethiopian music uses a distinct modal system that is pentatonic, with characteristically long intervals between some notes. As with many other aspects of Ethiopian culture and tradition, tastes in music and lyrics are strongly linked with those in neighboring Eritrea, Somalia, Djibouti, and Sudan. The music of the highlands uses a fundamental modal system called kinet, of which there are four main modes: tezeta, bati, ambasal, and ankioi. Three additional modes of variations on the above: tezeta minor, bati major, and bati minor. Some songs take the name of the kinet, such as Tizita, a song of reminiscence. When played on traditional instruments, these modes are generally not tempered, but when played on Western instruments such as pianos and guitars, they are played using the Western tempered tuning system. Music in the Ethiopian highlands is generally monophonic or heterophonic. In certain southern areas, some music is polyphonic. Polyphonic singing may employ up to 5 parts, majangir 4 parts. Musical instruments. Chordophones in the highlands. Traditional string instruments include the mazankyo, a 1-string bowed lute, the krar, a 6-string lyre, and a bajina, a large 10-string lyre. The dita and musical bows are among the chordophones found in the south. Aerophones. The washint is a bamboo flute that is common in the highlands. Trumpet-like instruments include the ceremonial malakat used in some regions, and the holdudwa found mainly in the south. Imbilta flutes have no fingerholes, and produce only 2 tones, the fundamental and a 4th or 5th interval. These may be metal or bamboo. The Konso and other people in the south play fanta or pan flutes. Idiophones. In the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, liturgical music employs the senazal of sistrum. Additionally, the clergy will use prayer staffs or makwamia to maintain rhythm. Rural churches historically used a dawal to call the faithful to prayer. They are made from stone slabs or pieces of wood. The Beta Israel use a small gong called a kachel as liturgical accompaniment, though kachel may also refer to a small bell. The Toom, a lamellophone, is used among the Nui or Anuak, Majangir, Surma, and other Nilotic groups. Metal leg rattles are common throughout the south. Membranophones. The Kabero is a large hand drum used in the Orthodox Christian liturgy. Smaller kabero drums may be used in secular celebrations. The nagareed, played with a curved stick, is usually found in a secular context such as royal functions or the announcement of proclamations, though it has a liturgical function among the Beta Israel. The Gurage and certain other populations in the lowlands commonly play the atamo, a small hand drum sometimes made of clay. In Gambela region in western Ethiopia, the Anuaks specify 3 different kinds of drums: the anado, the odla, and the bull, with different rhythmic patterns attached to certain song genres. Popular music. Ethiopia is a musically traditional country. Of course, popular music is played, recorded and listened to, but most musicians also sing traditional songs, and most audiences choose to listen to both popular and traditional styles. A long-standing popular musical tradition in Ethiopia was that of brass bands, imported from Jerusalem in the form of 40 Armenian orphans during the reign of Haile Selassie. This band, which arrived in Addis Ababa on September 6, 1924, became the first official orchestra of Ethiopia. By the end of World War II, large orchestras accompanied singers. The most prominent orchestras were the Army Band, Police Band, and Imperial Bodyguard Band. For the 1950s to the 1970s, Ethiopian popular musicians included Bazunesh Bekel, Mahmoud Ahmed, Alemayehu Asheti, Hirat Bekel, Ali Bira, Ilu Mesfin, Kiros Alemayehu, Mulukan Meles and Tyler Hunjesesi, while popular folk musicians included Alamu Aga, Kasatesma, Katema Makonnen, Asnek Echwerkus, and Mary Army. Perhaps the most influential musician of the period, however, was Ethio jazz innovator Mulatu Astaka. AMHA Records, Kaifa Records, and Philips Ethiopia were prominent Ethiopian record labels during this era. Since 1997, Buddha Music's Ethiopic series has compiled many of these singles and albums on compact disc. During the 1980s, the Derg-controlled Ethiopia, and emigration became almost impossible. Musicians during this period included Ethio Stars, Wallace Band and Roa Band, though the singer Nuwade Bebe was most popular. He helped to popularize the use of semina werq in music that often enabled singers to criticize the government without upsetting the senses. Contemporary scene. The most popular musicians from Ethiopia are Teddy Afro and the Los Angeles area expatriate Asta Awaki. One of the biggest new trends, however, has been the rise of bolal, a sort of blues-like music, played by sarcastic Asmari playing in parts of Addis Ababa, especially Johannes Sefer and Kazanchis. Bolal musicians include Tigista Sefer Teja and Admasu Abate. Currently the most prominent Ethiopian singer internationally is Gigi, through her performing with prominent jazz musicians such as Bill Laswell and Herbie Hancock. Gigi has brought Ethiopian music to popular attention, especially in the United States, where she now lives. Another noteworthy singer is Nuwade Bebe, who was very popular among the youth of the 1980s and early 1990s with such songs as Yetek Mtabiba, Miti Kitun Atai, Safsaf and Gedem, among others. Abbott Barry Hun has exemplified all four main kinets on his 2005 album Rasteshan. Ethiopic's producer Francis Falcheto criticizes contemporary Ethiopian music for eschewing traditional instruments and ensemble playing in favor of one-man bands using synthesizers. Harvard University professor K. Kaufman Chelame, on the other hand, maintains that there is genuine creativity in the contemporary music scene. She further points out that Ethiopian music is not alone in shifting to electronically produced music, a point that Falcheto acknowledges. In the West, several bands were also created in recent years to play music inspired by the Ethiopic series and other examples of Ethiopian music of the 60s and 70s. They include either Orchestra, Imperial Tiger Orchestra, and Le Tigre des Plateaus. Notable Ethiopian musicians. Scholarship. Ashenafi Kebet studied much in the area of Ethiopian music, history, instrumentation, and composition as a leading ethnomusicologist.